Shouldn't you guys all be watching the soccer game? That's why I'm like, where is everybody?
Why aren't you watching?
Oh, because I don't care.
Euro Millet.
Yay, Malay. This is great.
It's like, yay, defunding and destroying the
There we go.
Argentina. How kind
There we
of
go.
people.
I was for America, of course, but America didn't make it, so I went with
That's
Argentina.
understandable. I can relate to that, but
You're saying that there's no war going on between Israel and it's a ceasefire now.
it's a genocide.
It's not a genocide. Okay, why is it a genocide? Explain why you believe this.
Since the Nakba, they've been systematically stealing land that they didn't even win in the 1967 war. And they're still doing it. They're splitting settlements where they have private security, electricity routed to their homes specifically.
Who started the 48 war? Who started it? It was the Arabs.
Did.
No, the Arabs did.
Britain started everything.
No, they
partitioned
did
the
not.
Middle East in a way to
Oh,
deliberately
brother.
dysfunction.
The British mandate, they wanted to leave and they left, and they allowed Israel to form a new state. You say it's a genocide. How do you explain that when
It's
you
a
have...
genocide because there's systemic. There's video evidence of it.
There's video evidence of Hamas killing their own people.
No, not
Their
of
own
Hamas.
people. There's actual videos where they are executing. There was one video right after the ceasefire. 52 residents of Gaza executed by Hamas. There have been protests in Gaza demanding the end to... That lady ran away because she knew that I was going to confront her on the dishonesty. If you want to stop the starving children, there's a simple answer. Hamas needs to surrender and leave. Would you at least concede that Hamas is a terrorist group?
Israel needs to leave.
You don't think Hamas is a terrorist group? Hamas is a terrorist state. They attacked innocent civilians October 7th. How can you possibly ignore that? And then,
agents to kill people to blame it on Hamas.
no, where's your evidence for this?
Video evidence. It's
Like where? There's actual photos of the babies being burned.
Some of those photos
Hamas recorded their own atrocities. If you want to end the occupation, you ought to start with Jordan. There you have a non-indigenous royal house running that country. Let me fix that. There we go. Normally they would have a large group here, but they didn't show up. How can you guys continue to stand? You want to talk about apartheid? If you want to talk about apartheid, let's talk about Gaza. There is a section of Gaza. There are black people who are segregated and they are not allowed to walk about and have their lives. Why do you ignore that?
Why don't you go away?
You know what? Because you are lying, and it is wrong for you to lie. If you want to talk about an occupation, how do you explain how in Gaza they voted for Hamas to be their government? They voted for terrorists. So how do you feel sorry for them? And this sign right here, it says, "Stop starving children." Well, guess what? Israel wanted to send all the aid. There were journalists on the ground who reported this, and Hamas wouldn't let them bring the food in. Why is that? Why don't you want to talk about that? And here's the other thing. You say recognize Palestine. Do you know how many times that Israel has offered a Palestinian state? They have offered a state 5 times. What do you say to that? And
settling in the West Bank and in Gaza.
they've rejected it 5 times. From the 1870s until the present day, there were clear legal dynamics which established the state of Israel. And Israel said, we want all the Arabs to live with us. We want them to be here in peace. There are Muslims in the IDF. There are Arabs who serve on the Supreme Court. Did you know that there are Christians? There are Christians. There are Christians who serve as police officers in Jerusalem. There are Christians who serve as police officers in Jerusalem. Are they against themselves?
In Palestine as well. There are I know Palestinians that are Christian, that are Jewish, that are Muslim.
There are Jews who wear the Palestinian flag, but that doesn't mean you see them in Hebron. It doesn't mean that you see them in Bethlehem. That is incorrect. In Gaza, there are no Jews because they have been forced. They were forced out. IDF even took the Jews out. This is the brainwashing of the highest order. This is obscene, and I have wanted finally to be able to confront this. And look at this. They have like nobody here now. And that says everything. You had one sign that talked about a ceasefire. There's been a ceasefire for a long time. And they keep talking about a genocide, but the fact is that Israel allows children in Gaza who are sick to go to hospitals in Israel or to go to hospitals in other countries. And they don't want to talk about that. Here's my last question, which I know you won't answer. What do you say? Because I didn't get an answer the last time. Will you condemn the dancing Palestinians who celebrated 9/11? Will you condemn the dancing Palestinians who celebrated, danced in the streets of Gaza, Judea, Samaria, and Lebanon when our citizens were slaughtered by Al-Qaeda? Will you condemn that? Will you condemn the dancing Palestinians? You are on record. You stand with terrorists who kill Americans, and you reject peace, and you put terrorists and Islamic militants ahead of innocent people. You are not on the side of what is right. This is wrong. And you lady asked me, why don't I leave? It's because you are lying. And someone has to call you out on it. End the occupation of stupidity. End the occupation of collusion with evil.